All right, so the vertex form is called that because it allows you to find the vertex very easily. The intercept form is called that because it allows you to find the intercepts very easily. So the very first thing that you can find with this, and it's what I would expect that you would be able to find without using a calculator. So like I said, there will be a quiz that you guys take here in this chapter that'll involve factoring, expanding out, and identifying these parts based on the form. Okay, so the x-intercepts are simply going to be the values of x that would give you a 0 for each of the factors. So what value of x would give you a 0 for this factor? And what value of x would give you a 0 for this factor? -7. So those are your two x-intercepts. So I think I asked you on there which is the lesser of them. So which is lesser, -3 or -7? Lesser means further to the left on a number line, so -7. And then the greater one would be -3. So again, this is really all that you'll be expected to do by hand on this. Okay, and so the other information that you can take away from this is all the same things from the other problems. You need to know the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the y-intercept, and then the tendencies of the graph. Okay, so from those, the one that we can answer the easiest, or with just looking at this, is the tendencies. Is this graph going to open up or down? Here's the leading coefficient. It's going to open down, right? And the reason is a is less than 0. If your leading coefficient is a negative number, it's going to open down. And then we can also determine, is this going to be more narrow or is it going to be wider than the parent function? Again, take the absolute value of that number in front. The absolute value of a is once again greater than 1. Again, 1 is the comparison on this. So it's going to be more narrow. It's going to be a steeper, vertically stretched graph. Okay. So as far as what we know, just based on these two things, we have -3 and -7. We know that it's going to open down and it's going to be kind of a steeper, more narrow graph. Okay, so our graph's going to look something like this. Okay, so what we could do is next find the vertex. If you wanted to do this by hand, the vertex is simply going to have an x-coordinate that is the average of the two x-intercepts coordinates. So if you add these together, -10 plus a -3 is a -7 plus a -3 is a -10. Cut that in half is a -5. That means that the x-coordinate of your vertex is -5. Okay? Now, you don't have to do this by hand, and I would probably encourage you not to. It's easier just to do it the same way with your calculator. Go into your y-editor, enter this whole function in that y-editor, so -4, x plus 3, x plus 7. Okay? Once you enter that, you can go in and view the graph. And so again, even though you don't see your vertex here, you can identify it by hitting F5. Go to it's a maximum now, so choose maximum. You need to put a lower bound somewhere to the left of this. Well, you can see here, you know that your intercept is -7. I'm just going to use that as my lower bound. My upper bound, I'm just going to use 0. It can be anything to the right of this vertex, but 0 is easy to type. And so now it's going to tell me what's the highest value between -7 and 0, and it's -516. So again, you can see that our pattern for finding this was accurate as well. If we'd have plugged in a -5 here and solved, we would get the same value, 16. Okay, so the axis of symmetry can now be identified. It's simply x equals whatever the x-coordinate of your vertex is. So x equals -5 in this case. And then the y-intercept, again, nice and easy. If we just go to the Math tab, F5, choose value, let x be 0. Let's find the corresponding y value for that, and we get -84. So 0, -84 would be our answer for that part.